Welcome back to the deep dive. You know, the place where we try and break down the information you need, hopefully offering some insights that really cut through the noise.
Yeah, helping make sense of it all.
Exactly. And today we're tackling something, well, a challenge a lot of you probably face, getting more impact on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. It's always evolving, isn't it?
It really is. And actually, if you are looking to give your social media profiles maybe an extra lift, you might want to check out rapidboost.net. They've got tools to help boost your online presence. Just something to look into.
Good resource.
So our mission for this deep dive is really to get under the hood of Instagram guides.
Right. That feature that maybe doesn't get all the spotlight.
Yeah, exactly. We're basing this on the article Unlock Instagram Growth with Guides, and we really want to figure out how you can use them for, real profile growth and connecting more deeply with your audience.
So we'll be looking at what guides actually are.
Whether why they work, the different kinds you can make.
Smart ways to use them. Definitely.
Yeah, and how to make them look good, make them engaging, and maybe see some examples of them working in the wild.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh.
It's interesting, while everyone's focused on stories or reels, these ephemeral things.
Right, the stuff that disappears.
Exactly. Instagram sort of quietly built this feature, guides, that offer something more lasting.
Okay, so what are they fundamentally?
Think of them like curated collections. You can pull together your existing posts or maybe products you recommend or even places you've been.
Into one spot.
Yeah, all packaged into these scroll-friendly formats, kind of like little articles on your profile.
And you said lasting. How are they different from stories then?
Well, that's the key thing, right? They don't disappear. They become permanent resources right there on your profile page,
Yeah.
living alongside your feed posts and reels.
Okay, let's dig into that a bit more. So instead of just one post maybe getting lost, guides let you bundle related stuff together, like a cohesive package.
Precisely. It's like turning your profile into a kind of mini resource library on your key topics.
But why is that better? I mean, why is that curated thing more powerful than just, a stream of good posts? What's the psychology there?
That's a really good question.
Okay.
Think about someone finding your profile for the first time.
Okay.
If they see a guide called, say, Mastering Low-Light Photography, it immediately signals, okay, this person knows this topic in depth.
Right. Not just a one-off picture.
Exactly. It suggests you've actually thought about it, compiled something useful. It encourages a different kind of looking, not just a quick like and scroll.
More exploration.
Yeah, it positions you as, well, more credible, an authority. And the structure itself helps being able to add descriptions, put things in order, tell a richer story.
Ah, so the format lets you build that authority.
It really does. It builds trust, and it makes your expertise much easier for people to grasp and, importantly, to share.
That makes total sense. It shifts the feel from just a feed to like a value-packed library. So what kinds of these mini libraries can we build? The article mentions 3 types.
Yes, Instagram gives you 3 main formats, and each has its own sort of sweet spot.
Right.
First up, you got Places Guides. These are fantastic for anything location-based.
Like travel bloggers?
Perfect example.
Here.
Or a local business, highlighting cool spots nearby. Think Hitty Cafes in Paris, or best local hiking trails.
Got it. What's next?
Then there are product guides. These are obviously great for businesses or maybe affiliates.
Right.
You can recommend products, but add your own context, like why you think it's essential or tips on how to use it best.
Adds more value than just a link.
Definitely. And the third type is posts guides. These are probably the most versatile
How so?
because you can use them to group your own past posts or even posts you've saved from other people around a theme.
Oh, interesting. So you can curate content from others too.
You can, yeah. Which opens up possibilities we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But knowing these 3 formats, places, products, posts, gives you flexibility to match what your audience needs.
All right, that's clear. We know what guides are. Now, the big question. How do we actually use these to, give our profile that boost? The article lays out some key strategies. First one is about position yourself as an expert. What's the secret sauce there?
Well, the interesting thing is it's often less about creating totally new expert content and more about smartly curating what you've already shared.
Repurposing.
Kind of, yeah. You've been consistently putting out good stuff in your niche. A guide just pulls it together, makes it concentrated.
Like a fitness coach example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A guide like 10 essential exercises for busy professionals. It does more than list exercises. It shows you Understand a specific audience and their specific problems, like lack of time.
Right, it's targeted.
It becomes like an instant portfolio piece. It builds that credibility really quickly with anyone looking for that kind of help. The act of curating itself signals, I know my stuff.
Makes sense. You're demonstrating expertise, not just claiming it. Okay, the next strategy you mentioned is about breathing new life into older content, repackaging evergreen stuff. Does that really work?
Oh, absolutely. Think about those really solid posts you made, maybe months or even years ago, that are still totally relevant.
Yeah, they just get buried.
Right. Guides are perfect for bringing those back. Like a skincare brand could pull together their best posts on basic routines or explaining key ingredients or tutorials.
Into one Skincare 101 guide, maybe?
Exactly. It re-engages people who missed it the first time, and it makes sure new followers can easily find that foundational, valuable stuff. You're basically extending the life and the reach of your best work.
So you're getting more mileage out of content you already created. Smart. Now, the article also talks about using guides to take followers on a transformational journey. That sounds ambitious for Instagram. How does that work?
It sounds grand, maybe, but it's about structure. Guides let you organize content sequentially, so you can actually walk people through a process step by step.
Like a mini course. Sort of. That example, how to start a photography side hustle, a 5-step roadmap, is perfect. You're not just dumping info, you're guiding them.
Ah, I see.
And that shift from just being an info source to being a guide or a mentor, it gets people more invested. They see you as the resource to help them get where they want to go. It builds a much deeper connection.
That is a powerful shift. Okay, what about trends? Things move so fast. How can guides tap into what's current without becoming, instantly outdated?
That's a clever balancing act. You can use guides to address trending topics, but frame them in a way that still has long-term value.
Like the travel example. Top summer travel spots 2024.
Exactly. The 2024 gives it immediate relevance, grabs attention now. But the core content, cool travel spots, is still interesting later.
And you could update it next year.
Precisely. Update it, add new spots, refresh the insights, so you get the boost from the current trend, better discoverability right now, but you're building a resource that evolves, that doesn't just expire, finding that sweet spot between timely and timeless. That's smart. Leveraging the now for later value. Okay, the last strategy mentioned is community building. Using collaborative guides. What's the real advantage of pulling other creators in?
Oh, this unlocks a lot. When you feature posts from other creators in your guides.
Which you mentioned you could do with posts guides.
Right. You're doing a couple of things. One, you're giving your audience more diverse perspectives, maybe expertise you don't have. But two, it's huge for cross-promotion.
How so?
Well, imagine you create a guide on, say, top productivity hacks, and you include great tips from 5 other experts in that space.
And you tag them, presumably.
Absolutely. And when you tag them, they're very likely going to share that guide with their audience.
Ah, tapping into their network.
Exactly. It exposes your profile, your guide, to a whole new group of people who are probably interested in your topic too. It's great for networking, building relationships, and just amplifying your reach way beyond your own followers.
So it's like creating a win-win resource. Okay, great strategies. Now let's say you're ready to build one. What makes a guide really pop? How do you design it well? The article has best practices.
Yeah, because just throwing posts together isn't enough.
Yeah.
First impressions matter.
Yeah.
So number 1, crafting magnetic titles and short descriptions.
The hook?
Totally.
Mm.
The title needs to be intriguing, clear about the value, and ideally use keywords people might search for. Like that example, Ultimate Guide to Vegan Baking for Beginners. Tells you exactly what it is and who it's for.
And the description.
That's your chance to really draw them in. Set expectations, promise the value they're going to get inside.
Okay, like the cover and the inside flap of a book. Makes sense. What about the look and feel, Instagram's visual?
Hugely important.
Yeah.
Visual cohesion is key. You want your guides to look polished, professional.
How do you achieve that?
Consistent cover images are a good start. Maybe use a branded template or just a similar style or color palette across all your guide covers.
So they look like a set on your profile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, think about the order of the posts inside. Don't just dump them in randomly. Is there a logical flow? Maybe beginner to advanced or problem to solution.
Ah, intentional sequencing.
Right. It just makes the whole experience better, easier for the user to follow and get value from.
Good point. Logical flow plus visual appeal. Now, how do you make sure people actually find these guides through Instagram search?
That comes down to optimizing with keywords and hashtags. It's similar to regular posts, really.
So put keywords in the title.
Title, Definitely. Also in the introduction and even in the little headers you can add to each section within the guide. Think about what terms your ideal audience is actually searching for.
What about hashtags? Still relevant here.
They are, yeah.
Mhm.
Probably don't need a ton, but maybe 2 to 5 really relevant targeted hashtags can help with discoverability. Think about common questions people ask you. Those could be good keyword ideas.
Okay, align with search intent. Got it. And lastly, how do you get people to actually do something with the guide, not just read it?
You need clear calls to action, or CTAs. Don't just assume they'll engage.
You have to ask.
Pretty much. Invite them explicitly. Save this guide for later. Leave a comment with your biggest takeaway. Share this with a friend who needs it.
Make it obvious.
Yeah, or ask a question within the guide itself. Spark comments. Maybe point them to another relevant post or guide on your profile. Anything to encourage interaction and keep them engaged.
Makes sense. Don't leave them hanging. Now, the article shared some really interesting case studies, proof that this stuff works. Let's talk about that nutrition coach who apparently doubled lead generation. How'd they do that?
Yeah, this one really shows the power of hitting a specific niche need. This coach created a Meal Prep 101 guide.
Okay, very specific.
Right, they gathered their best recipe posts, added extra tips and insights, basically made the ultimate resource for busy people wanting to meal prep.
So, solving a clear problem.
Exactly. And by making this super valuable guide, they positioned themselves as the person for meal prep advice. The result? They apparently doubled the number of DMs they got asking about their coaching services in just 60 days.
Wow, okay. So, a direct link between a targeted guide and actual business leads. That's significant.
It really is. It shows that targeted value pays off.
What about the e-commerce example, the skincare brand boosting product visibility?
This was clever. They used a product guide, called it Glow Essentials, to showcase their main product.
Makes sense.
But they didn't just list products. They mixed in user testimonials, social proof, along with clear explanations of benefits and how to use instructions for each product.
Adding layers of value.
Right. And then they promoted this guide heavily in stories linked in their bio, made it super easy for interested people to find, learn, and then click through to the actual product pages.
And it worked.
Apparently, yeah. It reported 35% jump in clicks to product pages and more email signups too. So it directly drove traffic and potential sales.
So guides can be serious conversion tools, not just for awareness. Okay, one more case study. The travel blogger who got more reach through collaboration. What was their approach?
This one really highlights that cross-promotion power we talked about. The blogger made a guide, Top 10 Hidden Gems in Japan.
Cool topic.
Yeah, but the key was they featured posts from other travel influencers who knew Japan well.
Ah, a collaborative strategy.
Exactly. So 2 benefits. Their own audience got richer, more diverse tips from multiple experts,
And
and
the other influencers shared the guide.
you got it. They shared it with their followers, which brought a whole wave of new relevant followers back to the original blogger's profile. A classic win-win for audience growth.
These examples really drive home the point. Guides aren't just a nice to have, they can deliver real results.
Okay, so for you listening right now thinking, all right, I'm sold, how do I actually make one? The article gives us step-by-step.
Yes, and it's pretty straightforward actually. Step 1 is crucial. Identify your core theme or your audience's main pain point. Know who you're talking to and what they need, like that financial coach helping first-time homebuyers save money.
Perfect example. Know your focus. Step 2,
Yeah.
gather your best posts on that theme. Dig into your archive.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, you can include others' posts too if it makes sense for a collaboration.
Right. Then what?
Step 3, create the guide itself. Inside the Instagram app, you hit the little plus icon on your profile, and you should see the guide option there.
Okay, in-app creation.
Yep. Step 4 is organize and optimize. This is where you arrange the posts logically, write those catchy titles and descriptions for each section, sprinkle in your keywords.
Make it user-friendly and discoverable.
Exactly. Step 5, publish and promote. Don't just hit publish and forget it.
Gotta tell people it exists.
Right. Share it to your stories, maybe add it to a profile highlight so it stays visible, link it in your bio if it's really central. And if you collaborated, definitely let those creators know so they can share too.
Good point. What's the last step?
Step 6, engage and iterate. See how it performs. Look at the analytics Instagram provides for guides. What are people saving? What gets comments? Use that feedback to make your next guide even better.
And there was a bonus tip too.
Yeah, simple but important. Regularly update your guides. Keep them fresh. Swap out older info if needed. Add new insights. Keeps them valuable over time.
So it's a cycle. Plan, create, promote, analyze, improve. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And for someone wanting to jump in right now, the article had some quick takeaways.
Absolutely. Good first actions.
Sure.
1, audit your existing content. What gems are hiding in your feed you could bundle up right now?
Find the low-hanging fruit.
Exactly. 2, brainstorm 3 to 5 specific guide topics. Think about your expertise. Think about questions you get asked all the time.
Get some ideas flowing.
3, trying to commit to a regular schedule, even if it's just one guide a month to start. Consistency builds momentum.
Little by little.
4, think about using guides as lead magnets. Have clear CTAs that encourage DMs, link to a free resource, whatever makes sense for your goals.
Use them strategically.
And 5, always leverage those analytics. See what's working, what's not, and adjust your approach for future guides. Data is your friend here.
Great actionable steps. So,
Yeah.
big picture here seems pretty clear. Instagram guides are, well, maybe a seriously underused tool for boosting your presence.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
They offer this unique way to curate your value, build trust, show off what you know.
And nurture that community connection, too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And in today's really crowded online space, where everyone's shouting,
Yeah.
having these organized, insightful resources can really help you stand out. It shows you've put thought into helping your audience.
It's about depth over just noise.
Precisely. Moving beyond just fleeting content to creating something genuinely valuable and lasting. It solidifies you as a go-to resource.
Absolutely. So for you listening, maybe the challenge now is to actually do it. Look at your posts, brainstorm that first guide topic, and just experiment. See what happens.
Yeah, give it a try. And that actually leads to maybe a final thought to chew on.
Go for it.
We've talked about how curating information can grow your Instagram and solidify your expertise online. But think bigger for a second. How could that same skill, strategically organizing and presenting what you know, amplify your impact in other parts of your life? Your work, maybe. Your projects. Where else could that kind of thoughtful presentation make a real difference?